are on YouTube. And it looks like it's loading up. Alrighty then. I hope everyone is doing well. We are once again busy. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Let's get right to it. I've already cleared the board and pulled out the cards and whatnot. But there was a lot that came through. This came through like, what was the 5th? I think the 5th was, well, it was 5 days ago. So let me get this switched around here. Alrighty, and it was in the evening. And it was about being disconnected or disconnecting here. It was more about disconnecting from toxic and traumatized people. So it's something very difficult to do because we can actually include ourselves in that. But the thing is that this is about taking our power back and realizing that the real lies are the things that are putting us in a position to not only better our lives, it also vicariously can help others. I met up with Stone last night. It was kind of spur of the moment. We hadn't chatted in a minute, and we ended up pushing the go button, as I say quite often. And, you know, it's not really about, don't feel like you have to have that altruistic thing. I have to better myself to help other people. No, that's not the answer. There's no such thing as altruism, and if others don't benefit from your bettering yourself, a lot of times that can be a trigger for them. And a lot of times you're not going to jive with that there's going to be some, and there's going to be a little bit of this. So if that's not part of their reality, then that's okay too. The difficult part for us is if they're triggered by our healing, then we have to kind of make sure that, sorry, my curtains are open. So you can probably see like cars and stuff twiddling by. But anyway, eventually things will become right. And regardless of what we hear, think, or say, it's really up to our foundational BS. That's our foundational belief system. And then this came in a few days later. So a lot of that relationship aspect, and I think I've been doing a lot of readings about relationships and how those, even like your relationship with money. So that's a whole thing too. I had a discussion with somebody a couple of days ago about that. And thinking about also this internet and friendship. And there are a lot of us that complain about the internet and how much time people spend. And I was, flipping through reels late last night or early this morning. And I used to watch Top Gear and Grand Tour with, Clarkson and May and Hammond, and they've all kind of semi-retired, but I heard James May talk about what are the 5, they had asked him, an interviewer asked him, what would be one of the 5, or what would be 5 things that you would not be able to live without? One of the very first thing he talked about was his iPad. And he said, people really say, oh no, they spend too much time on the screen. But he says it's absolutely a brilliant tool. And granted, yes, you can get addicted, but they are definitely useful tools. Research tools. He said he likened it to having the Library of Alexandria in the palm of your hand, which I thought was a really cool way of looking at it. And it's really up to us. We can use flatware to feed ourselves, but we can also use it to either injure ourselves or others or both. So it's really about using that tool. And it's been presented, this thing called the internet or technology, and the friendships that we have gained through that. But we have to come to a place where we almost can't avoid it. You know, even doing this is part of that technological internet connection thing. This is not connected to Wi-Fi. It's been off for years now, and my computer is hardwired. Well, actually, computer's over there. But it's hardwired. There's a wire that runs through the house. You can barely maybe see it. It runs under that door, under that rug, and all along the wall. I haven't put it underneath the floor yet. Sorry if this is a little bit blurry. I just noticed that. It's because the lighting's not the best in here, and it's bright out, but it's kind of overcast. Anyway, I digress. Squirrel. But we can't really avoid this technology unless you're going to really become a hermit. You're going to see what card came out now that I'm saying that. But a lot of times, this whole thing of creating a sense of fear, frustration, anger about this, and even paranoia, and it's within us who need to use the internet to do our work. And that's kind of the one side of it. And ultimately, the internet is a blessing, not only does it help us teach and teaches us to be more self-aware, it teaches us how to protect ourselves. I've learned a lot on how to protect myself. You have to be discerning as to what you're looking at and always have that internal critical eye, if you will. Otherwise, we can reap the benefit or really a consequence of our interactions on this thing we're calling the internet. So learning from it is going to be very, very helpful because, you know, people are talking about the whole AI and the chat GPTs, etc., and how every time we ask a question, it kind of learns from us. But we're also learning from it what to do and what not to do, I'm hoping. So those of us who have greater access and the people around this planet, and we can use this to foster good friendships if we take the time and use good judgment. We do have to be careful, especially with all this, facial AI stuff. Somebody had consented on anybody. I got a reel on, I think it's on this phone, and it's of Will Smith, and he's talking, and the narrative was very interesting because it kept shifting with what he was saying. And he says, really, I think the last thing he says is something like, really, you think I'm on the beach? I don't have, this is a green screen. And he says, do you really think I look like this? I haven't looked like this in years. And then it just, all the AI fell off. And, there was what appeared to be a more realistic looking Will Smith, who was obviously much more showing the age that you would think appropriate for his birthday. Don't know why I'm dancing around that. So I think too, if it makes us stronger, and I guess we're not going to have as much of a problem in having that discernment, because the more we connect to ourselves, the easier it is for us to be able to reach out and go out and see through people and their it's not their ultimatums, but it could be for some people. But it's really about seeing others. If we see ourselves for who we are, we're going to hopefully transition to that point where we are going to be able to see others for who they are, and ponder this. We say to ourselves that if I can connect myself in a safe and healthy way, I can also connect to this thing that we're calling the internet in a safe and healthy way. And there's a truly deep and wonderful world that we have within us. So the deeper we go here, we may find less of a need to go to the internet, but it's there for us. Wisdom says we need to connect in a deeper way and broader way into ourself, because if we don't, it will open us up and make us vulnerable to the perils of we're calling the internet. So one of the things that I started writing out, and that's why it took me a hot second to connect today on YouTube, is, golly, I've gotten really disorganized in the last couple of days. Oh, I put it over there. And I really want to start up, what did I put? Oracle, see, I can't even remember what I write. Oracle guidance sessions, and this would be like a free group. And it's like a solutions group where you can just kind of belly things out. Now, this is going to be done in a mature way, emotional immaturity. This is not about being judgment or getting mad or upset at anybody. It's not about being ticked off because you don't agree with somebody. And I kind of like being able to have discussions with people openly if I have a different opinion. And I explore within myself as to why I see things differently. Yeah, and I think I said there are a lot of problems that do not have solutions. One major concern is that of sovereignty and freedom, and I believe you can have sovereignty without freedom, but I don't believe that the reverse can be accurate. In other words, you cannot have freedom without a sense of sovereignty, but you can subject yourself to constraints to remain or have the illusion of sovereignty, of being sovereign. One of the solutions people think is good, and it may have some positive effects instead of having a disclosure. Maybe a revealing of occultic practices that are not beneficial to humanity, because occultic just means hidden. And this is all about part of this. Should be disclosure. Let's see. I'm thinking of one who is no longer with us, yes, and who was attempting to do exactly that, which is to expose the traffic. Not behind the wheel traffic. So I'm just talking about this so you don't send me what I'm talking about. If you don't understand, just send me an email, a message, or something. I won't be able to post it publicly what I'm talking about, so you probably just have to send me an email. That'll be listed below. I think that what happened to that individual as they were trying to do what was in their heart and mind a right thing to do and expose nefarious activities. Again, they are no longer with us. So what effect does that have on others, other than to make others fearful of stepping out and resolving the same thing she was trying to expose? Once you expose something, you have to take it to the next step on how to fix it. And to me, this says that if you don't have the solution to removing this problem, you're going to end up like this woman. And this is not a fearful thing, it's a factful thing. There are systems in place within our society that no matter where you live, there is a kind of demiurge and archonic controls that are still going on. There's an illusion of freedom. And in some countries around this place that we're calling Earth, there are even fewer freedoms. I'm going to have a sip of my water. Let's get over to the cards. I don't know how relevant this is, and maybe the only thing I'm thinking of is that card that I got pulled up was the Hermit. It just kind of flipped out. It's just kind of, most of the cards, if you want to see how I shuffled it and pulled it out, that's going to be on Rumble. And let's get over there, though. I'm going to take a little sip of water here. You might be able to even hear my voice going a little crackly. That board's going to twitch a little bit, but that's what I pulled out just a couple of minutes ago. Again, if you want to see how that's done, you'll have to go over to the Rumble version. That is really icy cold. Wow. All right, chair rolling across the floor. All right, so yeah, I mean, maybe this is like a holding back. And I know that the Fool is that card of enlightenment. Ooh, I had wetness on my finger. But that Hermit, we have to kind of think carefully, and it's not really like sequestering ourselves away. This is more about, look at that. that came out too. It's Four of Swords, Four of Air. And that's like a rest and a recovery. And I don't feel that the word relax is really appropriate. It's about resting and actively participating in a recovery process. Because I know in the traditional Four of Swords, it's like a dead guy looking for a blessing. And that's something that we have to facilitate. It's not anything that others can do for us. We have to take ownership of our healing. If you need help and guidance, somebody, a teacher, seek that out and use it, because that's important. That's really important. So let's go to the next card. Yeah, and it's going to require a lot of strength, because we do feel like we are, and look at that number, 44. I can't tell you how many times I've been seeing 44. It's like, oh my goodness. I'm actually going to push this away a little bit and see what I can do. There's my little bowl. But I ended up pulling up a bunch of cards, and I might have to adjust and I'm kind of anal about this whole, look at that, the sun's coming in the window, so we're going to get a little bit of glare about this whole thing, and being straight, that's kind of why I have the guide for the pyramid. It's not for decoration, it's for me to have spatial orientation. But 44, she's got the world, she's part of that world. Maybe you can see it that way. But you can see her hand is definitely part of that ball she's holding. I don't see that as the earth. I see that as an extension of her life. So we have this extension in our life that we haven't really taken advantage of yet, and it's behind us, and we maybe start to thinking about it like it's some kind of a burden. And I think it's kind of like we're reaching for something that we don't have to put so much work in, and we're being asked to don't move away from this and this. This takes work, but it's not necessarily fruitful other than a static. She doesn't feel like she's got movement. I mean, she's posed. She's static. She doesn't have action. She doesn't look like there's action. 44. Oh, and you know what? Look at that. Movement. Oh my gosh. So she's static. But the ostrich has that. It's a windmill. And an air balloon. And that is a sword thing. So move from static to a more restful and a less burdened position. Look at that, 44 and 4. Wow. But this is movement. Literally, it says movement. And that ostrich is walking. So this is where we have to kind of we're eventually going to be taking action on this. This is not like a static thing. So we're going to have to take ourselves from this static, stressful state to a resting, I got to clear my mind, a hermit position, place. This is gonna be the result of it. Okay, I feel like that's there then, because this is the process. Okay, and that makes more sense with this, because this is balancing act. She's got a balancing act too. But her pose is very relaxed. Let's see if that works. There we go. She's very relaxed. And, she's got her hand on that ball. And she's got her hand on a string. So she's got that string that has the ship on it. So let me see if I can't pull this so it's a little less glaring. I don't know if that's helpful, but yeah, it is a little bit. So really there's a and it's a very light card anyway. But oh, golly gee willikers, that's horrible. But you can see the ship. Ship's right there. I'll put it down. You'll probably be able to see it better. Not really, man. That's a really pale card. But there's a real fine string, and some of the things that are being here cascading down they look like little rose petals, but they look like heart shapes. So she's the one who is balancing with very little effort. There's some concentration there. I'm being told to pull out the book for this one. And it is balancing act. You're calm within no matter what the fluctuation of outer conditions. Times when things seem a bit topsy-turvy, it sure does, and it feels like that we're juggling 1,000 balls in the air. Perhaps you're unsure of your footing. You know, I don't get the lack of footing. If you're here, maybe yes, but we need to choose this more harmonious route. And in order to get from here to here, we have to take that action. We have to do this in order to take the steps. But we'll find that inner stability when we choose balance and have that focus and a level path. Now, I don't see a path per se here, but I do with this. I see that the ostrich is on a path or a sort of a road. And yeah, this is not going to be, this is like the Two of Cups. This is a beautiful card. There's a lot of love, and there's some new relationships. This feels like it's brand new. And this is something where someone will be coming in if they haven't already come in to help us. And it's 3 hearts, so there might be more than one. There's going to be a convergence, a coming together. So we're following this path to get to here. And right now it feels a little chaotic, but that's not going to stay that way. Yeah, and we are a magical map shifter. So this is gonna happen. It's gonna change our life. It's gonna change our world. And she's got all the elements here, as far as I can see. She's got the keys and compass and feathers. She's very, very focused. She has an air of mystery about her, but she's definitely willing to share her knowledge. It's just going to take some time to pull that out. Wow. Look at this. 11, 44, and 33. Really like this card. I don't get it very often. So she has... I've never seen a green butterfly myself, but it's definitely a green butterfly. And she's like, it's not really reckless, but there's so much joy that it keeps her afloat. And I think that with this we have to release these things that are troubling us and bogging us down. This is a lack of focus. And clearly, these are leading to a more focused life. And this is going to be the outcome of this particular area where we're going to have to pull ourselves together. This is the messenger of water, so like a page of cups. And we're not going to make this come to fruition if we aren't willing to take that action, because this can be just like, you know, in our heart. It's in our heart, but we have to take the action to manifest it. This is a man of action, but not so much. He's kind of serious. And he's very self-assured. He's a little on the strict side. And I don't feel like that's us. That's someone that is outside of us. That's someone, maybe one of those ones that might be coming in to help. But it might feel a little strict. But I feel like also that it's a very heartfelt. Maybe it's more discipline, and it might come across as being strict, but it's not strictness. It's delivered with heart. Oh, it's a mermaid. So this is a page of water. How far can I go? This is okay. So my board's getting taken over. I might move some of the cards off just so we can have a little bit of room. But yeah, page of water. She's definitely rising above. She's that page. You know, I kind of feel like these are whispering the message, but this has got to take action towards the manifestation parts. Oh my gosh. I feel like that one goes there. It's getting a little crunchy here. I'm going to move my relationship cards here. I'll move these guys over here. And then this ace can go here because it feels like this is a new beginning. It's like something very different is happening. Something very different is going on with this that we're trying to accomplish. It's going to have very grounding effects because here's the King of Earth. Not getting a lot off of him. You know, he's worked really hard to get where he's at, and I think that there's a lot of wisdom. And again, we have to take the action. We have to move towards reaching out for that wisdom that others have to offer. And I think that's what's kind of missing here. This is going to be the biggest layout I have done in a while. I'm going to have to get like another little side table just to put the cards on. But yeah. Okay, so meant what I said. So this is the not it's not the king, but it is the knight. And it's about submitting to who we are, and garnering those grounding, being mindful, staying grounded. This is what we're stepping towards, and it's going to be kind of challenging. This might actually initiate some, not paranoia, but fear. We're going to, avoid being self-judgmental. Don't be overly judgmental on yourself. I'm going to have to move these out of the way too. Oh my goodness. So we have two knights, and this is the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands, he is on the move, and he's kind of spicy. He's got some wisdom, but it's not as much. So this is why this needs to be. The peaks of joy need to be balanced with this judgment and stabilized, because there's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of passion. We got to be careful not to burn ourselves out. That's a big part of it, is this Ten of Wands. We don't want to burn ourselves out, because it feels like that's a real potential. If we get too wrapped up in making something happen, we have to let things kind of come out. So here's the thing. This is a tower, right? So the tower is basically showing us that significant change needs to happen. And if that significant change is going to be healthy, hey Arizona. I'm actually going to try and get the camera is actually like the screen is behind me. I'm pointing where the screen is at and it's kind of behind me. I'm going to fix that soon. But anyway, so like the tower is really a good thing. I mean, look at this tower card. It's all full of flowers, right? Yeah, and I know a lot of people kind of are a little fearful of it. And, don't fear any of this stuff. From a practical standpoint, what I've heard many times is that, tarot is loose guidance at best. Queen of Swords, holy cannoli. The King of Swords is up here. And they can be kind of restricting. She's quite strict as well. He might have a little bit better sense of humor, but I don't know, man. I feel like these are both outward, and this guy is outward as well. So that may be the three. That may be the 3 hearts. Huh, Pelican. Don't know who that is. Wow, there's a lot of youthful energy, and this does feel like that it's us, so it's the Page of Wands. So we're going to be getting a lot of intuitive messages and directions that it's going to be really helpful. I don't know that you can use, I don't see my hand. So that card's not seen, this card's not seen. So I'm going to have to kind of start stacking these guys where it's feeling right for them because they're off the board. But there's just a lot going on here, Yeah, right? So there's the tower, there's the thoughts and words, and that tower is also about our overthinking things, and allowing ourselves to feel like, oh crap. But ultimately, this is a forced change, and that forced change is for our betterment. Sometimes we get pushed, and next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, wish I would have done that sooner. So this, didn't we get this is the Queen of Cups. There's the Queen of Swords. So this is the Queen of Cups. So we got to be careful too with our heart and what we're releasing out into the ether. And I know that's going to be typically thought of as, thoughts and words, but those are our emotions. Emotions can often drive our thoughts, and our thoughts need to be in control of those emotions. It's kind of like that balance, that judgment, using the scales of, temperance too. Gosh. That's the Hierophant. I don't think this has anything to do with the Pope, but I don't know why that just popped into my head. It's not like a warning or anything like that, but we've got the keys to whatever the spirituality is going on. And everybody's going to have a different view of what that is. This is the Knight of Pentacles. It's reinforcing that groundedness. I feel like this is too, using that good judgment, using that good balanced thought. Oh my God. There's a lot of repeat cards. If you want to see how I pull these out, it's like totally random. So here's the Page of Swords. I know we have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So now, and these this Page of Water, but now we've also got this Page of Swords. So, there's a lot of youth in here. there's a lot of youth, and reckless abandonment just popped in. And that's what this, to me, is this joy card. This is probably the messiest pull I've ever done. Well, this is like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. I'm trying to hold. So, yeah, I kind of feel like these two guys are connected, because she has this unbridled, what does it say? Peak. Is a peak. He's standing on a precipice there. He's standing on something that he could just jump off that edge. It's not a peak, but he's ready to go. He's got everything he needs. So yeah, I kind of feel like those are tied as well. Wish fulfillment, 9 of Cups. I mean, following these paths, and it looks very chaotic. And it might feel really chaotic. And staying grounded with that King of Earth. Staying grounded is going to be huge. It's going to happen fairly quick. And we are in control. We are in control of all of this chaos. So if you don't want chaos, there's going to have to be a little bit of downtime to make it happen where you're feeling less chaotic. How are we going to do that? Oh my word. 4 of Swords, twice. It happened twice. 4 of Air is the 4 of Swords. So feeling chaotic, we're in control. How do we get organized and feel like that life is going to be a little bit better for us? That's how we do it. It's going to be stepping aside, stepping down, taking some time off, even if it's just 20 minutes or 5 minutes, and not having anything on, no computers, no phones. And I know I talked a little bit about the internet, and that might be causing some of the chaos with it's just too much communication, too much information, and we need to have time to give ourselves that ability to process all this stuff that we got coming towards us. I'm going to put the camera over here and finish it up. Hi, Jason. Hey guys, I was just telling Arizona that I gotta get another screen. I only have one screen, and I'm over there, and that doesn't work with seeing over here. So I'm gonna, because I scoot that way. Logistics. So one of the things too, if there's chaos and you need help with getting that organized, reach out to somebody that you can feel better about that. I got some new timeless things coming out. I did post a bunch of elemental. I'm going to do ones that's just as the elements, and then I have the ones that are each one of the signs that I already posted. I might put the element ones on Rumble. And I appreciate all the subs and their followers on Rumble. And I'm going to try and post a couple of things on Facebook. But I do want to start that little group up. I have to pick a time and a date, and it's just going to be the same link every week. So I'm not going to keep sending it out all the time. I'll just send it, and you'll have to, on your own personal thing, figure all that out. I did have a really good chat with Stone Hobbit last night. Of course, all of our conversations are good. Gosh, I think it started at 7 and we may have finished up at 11, but that's not all recorded. We can't record all the stuff we talk about because it's kind of out there, man. But I'm going to be putting that up on Rumble. I have to go through the content and make sure that, I'll have to probably just put a teaser up on YouTube. But that's what's coming soon. And hey, you guys, thanks for stopping by, Jason in Arizona. I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, you all. I really feel like that this is a new direction for all of us. We need to follow our passions and follow what's going to be, helping ourselves. And when we help ourselves, we're helping others. There is no such thing. I'm going to say it again. There is no such thing as altruism, right? You do it to make yourself feel good, and that's what that means. There is no altruism. Hey, you guys, take care. Do you have any questions? Hey, you know what? You guys want me to pull a couple cards for you? I got a ton of decks sitting here that I have. I could leave everything here on this table, and I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just tarot decks, and I've got probably at least that many oracle decks sitting there. You guys want? You want a reading? That'd be fun. Sure. What do you want? Now, none of this general energy hokum. You take a second and you think about what you want. All right. This is a beautiful deck as well. Of course, who's going to say I bought an ugly deck? Right? Nobody's going to admit to that. I bought an ugly deck. It's awesome. I'm going to move this out of the way. Think of your what you would like. I mean, you could do something as general as just a category. You can be vague or specific. Because I like doing the relationship ones, and relationships can be anything. Could be relationship with money, family, job, even a relationship with your car. Oh, you're coming out here, right? You haven't been out here yet? I thought you'd already come and gone. It does take a minute. There's a huge lag from the time I talk and the time it gets posted on FluffTube. I got to figure out how to do lives on Rumble. Because I know Stone got it to work where she doesn't have to have a, like OBS or something. It's coming up. All right. What is Arizona going to have as an experience? What are the things that will be helpful to her for her trip coming up? Because it's kind of a big trip. It's not something. Yeah, awesome sauce. Hey, that county you're going to is about 45 minutes away. So let me know if you want to hang out for a couple of minutes. All right. So what's something that's going to really help? I think that's kind of a nice card, right? So this 9 of Pentacles is you're going to be having that whole satisfied, wish fulfillment, cool deal. You're going to have a blast. You're going to have a blast. That's going to be about your visit and how you're going to feel about it. Nope. All right. These are kind of sticky. I like this deck, but they are kind of sticky. Whoa. All right. You're definitely looking forward to it. I don't know why I was drawn to that, because I'm starting to feel things out of that. So, yeah. All right. So 3 of Wands. And you're planning, and you're not quite. You're going to be prepared. It's like, even though it's this upcoming Wednesday, you might need a rescue. No problem. But yeah, it's kind of like these ladies. I mean, I don't know how many people you're going to visit, but I think even they're going to be prepared. What that means for you, I don't know. They might be prepared for you. Yes, and 50 pounds is not much, if you think about it. This is also, I mean, dude, you're going to have a great time. 10 of Cups, right? That is your family. Wish fulfillment. And you know what? Wish fulfillment. Because whatever you're going to set your heart on for this trip, that's what's going to manifest. So this is like a call for being mindful of where your heart is. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny? I'm used to doing the board over there so everybody can see them, and I have the it's like, oh, I don't have to put the cards upside down anymore. So there's going to be somebody who's young or quite a bit younger than you. There's like a masculine energy. I didn't realize how interesting this card is. I know you're coming out to, I don't know, is it like an auntie or a mom or cousins? I don't know if it is a man, but it's someone with a strong masculine, divine masculine connection. That's coming off this Page of Wands. And you know, he or she, I mean, I don't know, there is just this pervasive, important message, and it may not feel that way when it's initially delivered, and you might not realize how important it is until you get back. So, you know, I kind of find this to be an interesting card, and I never really looked at it before. You're gonna get what I mean when you start really looking at it. So let's not cast too many shadows on that one, right? But I didn't expect to see that. It's like, why is that popping out? Why is that being brought to my attention? Let me put it that way. Right? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of really good visits with the family. A lot of really good. Look at this. I mean, this is like hooting and a hollering. See if I can hold these. I mean, yeah, he's kind of in the background. It's kind of like, look at all these fun cards, these fun things you're going to be doing. But yeah, this dude's going to be like over here. See, oh my gosh, he's even looking over at you guys. I don't know. It's like maybe when you're out and about, somebody might pop into your awareness and, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, I never got anything like that before. Yeah. I think it's because you're more specific as to what you're looking for. If that makes any sense. All right. Do you want anything, Jason, or are you good? I don't even know what time it is. I really appreciate you guys coming in because usually I don't get hit up. Yes, in Michigan. And Michigan's thumb. But usually I don't get any inquiries or interesting things requested until after I post them, and most of the stuff is coming from Rumble, so that's kind of different because Rumble's a lot harder for me to post on. You're good, excited about? I know, I'm super excited too. So if y'all are good to go, she's the queen, baby. If y'all are good to go, I'm gonna go carry on with the rest of the day. You're very welcome, Jason. It's all good, and golly gosh, you lookers, guys. I hope everybody has like a really fantastic rest of your day, and hopefully we'll get to see you